Tremendous, lethal, volatile, earth-shattering sports talk will commence in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
We're just getting started. Count it off like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Intelligent rhymes with original styles. And we got Mr. James Brooklyn and Man-Child. It's you. Wanna know. The real deal. Then here we go.
Good morning. What up, ATL? What up, Georgia? Yes, this is the Doug Stewart Show coming to you live on Monday, November 10th, 2014. And oh boy, I say it every single week, but today I really mean it. We got a lot of great stuff to get into, man, from this past weekend in the world of sports. On Mondays, we do Ballas and Bustas. We'll obviously talk a lot of NFL, a lot of college football. And we're just going to do the damn thing. What up, Georgia? Kind of sound like Mel from Southwest Atlanta. What up, Mel? Speaking of which, where the hell is Mel from Southwest Atlanta? From the SWATs? Huh? Matter of fact, where's the Bugman at? Where's Tyrone the Bugman? Vern from Jersey has already hit me up. Triple digit. What about Mike from Lost Mountain? Yes! Where all of the dogs and the poodles at? I know y'all working. Y'all shouldn't be on your phones, maybe at your job. I get that. But show your boys some love. And those are some of what they call in the industry our P1 listeners that I just mentioned. Guys that listen to the Two Live Stews way back in the late year of 2001. Yes. So cats that have been listening to the show forever. Where they at? And Mel from Southwest Atlanta is a legendary sports talk show caller. Somebody get word to Mel. Mel is still around, right? Huh? Okay, I'm getting a thumbs up behind the glass. Mel is still around. Mel, holla at your boy. I bet you doesn't even know his folk got a show. Somebody tell Mel that the Doug Stewart Show is off and running. Yes. Thank you for joining your boy. Hey, before I even go too far, man, happy Veterans Day to all the veterans out there. And, man, thank you for all that you do. I mean, the servicemen, today is Veterans Day, and you got to show some acknowledgement, man, and pay homage to the great servicemen we got in this country, our military members, man, just incredible. And much respect to those guys. And I've said it before. It takes a special breed of person to get shot at for a living. Yes, that's real. That is absolutely real. And I'm not just talking about the military members, obviously them, but even our policemen. You know, sometimes I got, some little beef with our police, but, I'd rather have police than not have police. Okay? So, I get a ticket at the end of the month when they're trying to make their quota. Or some of these political situations the police find themselves into. But once again, thank you for all that you do, because it takes a very special person to put their life on the line for a job and to defend our country. So shouts out to the military members, former military members, as well as all of our servicemen in this country, man. Thank you for all that you do on this Veterans Day. The number to the show is 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. And what we do today on a Baller and Buster Monday is we give out balls and busters. Some people call them Gameballs and Goats, but because we different, and because I do things different around here, we give out balls and busters. So if you want to shout out your team that did something good this weekend, or a particular player that balled out of control, or you want to give a Buster Award to a sorry-ass team, or a sorry-ass player that didn't do anything, or a coach or whatever. Speaking of sorry-ass coaches, Mark Trestman for the Chicago Bears, you get a Buster Award just because you still around. I mean, my gosh. We're going to talk about that Sunday night game last night between the Green Bay Packers and the Chicago Bears, but Mark Trestman gets and that just came off the top of my dome. I mean, it just flashed in front of my face what the hell Aaron Rodgers did last night and carving up the Chicago Bears, and the poor play calling and the poor coaching by those said Bears and their head coach, Mark Trestman. We'll talk about them in a second. But obviously, the Atlanta Falcons, they get back on the winning side of things, man. They get a win on yesterday, beating the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 27-17. All right, they snap a 5-game losing streak. Bad thing about it, though, it seems like the Falcons can't beat anybody but the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Yes, this is the first win the Falcons have had since they just whooped the dog doo-doo out of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 6 weeks ago. And so they get a win. I mean, I guess a win is a win is a win. That's what they used to tell me when I was growing up. Your boy Roddy White goes for over 100 yards receiving. Matt Ryan didn't throw a pick. So good win for the Falcons, man. Once again, they needed a win in the worst way. And guess what? The crazy thing about it is the Falcons, and I heard the story where the Falcons, the organization, tweeted out or put it on their Facebook page or something that they're only one game out of first place in that NFC South, which is unbelievable. Yes, as bad as the Falcons have been this year, just coming off of losing 5 games in a row, they're right there in contention to win the damn division. Like, the winner and the champion of the NFC South may have a 7-9 record or something crazy like that. We're going to see like history made this year probably in this division. So great win by the Falcons. I don't care what it is. I don't care who it's against. Ball award goes to the ATL Falcons. And, handling their business. They're supposed to beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Buccaneers are horrible. They are. And so I don't know what they're going to do down there. I don't know what Lovie Smith's going to do. I don't know where he turns. Started Josh McCown this weekend. Mike Glennon had been struggling. They don't have any quarterback. If you have to trot out Mike Glennon and Josh McCown, you basically saying to yourself and to your fan base, you don't have a quarterback. Team has really been through the ringer as far as quarterbacks. They thought that Josh Freeman was going to be the guy. He's not. Is Josh Freeman, I just thought about this. You're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. Is Josh Freeman still in the NFL? You talk about going from sugar to ish real fast. Josh Freeman must have pissed somebody off. He must have slept with the owner's granddaughter or something crazy like that, because this guy's star was so bright, and then it just went dim very, very fast. So Busta Award goes to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They're struggling this year. And also, a Ball Award goes out. Let me go ahead and give out the first Ball Award in college football. Ball Award goes to the Georgia Bulldogs as they handle their business. Yes, against the Kentucky Wildcats, 63-31. Ball Award goes to Hudson Mason. He throws 4 touchdown passes. Your boy Nick Chubb still doing his thing. 170 yards on the ground. That's his 4th game of 140-plus yards. So the Georgia running attack is in good hands over the next couple of years, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. And they get back Sony Michel as well. So the running game is going to be off the charts. And let's be honest, it shows a little bit of character, I guess. Not too much character, but a little bit of character after the tough loss last week against Florida. And that's something that people always talk about. Mark Richt and what he's done as far as a coach for the Georgia Bulldogs is the team and the players and the coaching staff and the program just shows good character. So that was a humiliating loss last week. They come back and they just blow the doors off the Kentucky Wildcats. And Kentucky, they got some nice-ass uniforms, but Kentucky is one of those teams that historically sucks. I wouldn't give your ass no uniform until y'all win at least 10 games. Seriously. And Kentucky is just spreading a little bit of gray in their uniform, looking like they're all brand new. No. You remember in I can't remember the name of the movie now, but the quote was, "Coffee's for closers, new uniforms are for winners." Yes, I don't give your ass no damn uniform, Kentucky. But anyway, so Georgia handles their business. Good win for them. Next, they take on Auburn next weekend. They'll get back Todd Gurley, so that's good news. And also, one last Ball Award goes to the in-state team in the state of Georgia, the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets, man. Wow, Georgia Tech in this triple option, and Paul Johnson just stacking up points like crazy. They put up 63 in a win against North Carolina State. Tech scored 50 twice, 40 twice, and don't look now, but Tech's 8-2 and right behind Duke in the Coastal Division. So shouts out to Georgia Tech. Your boy Justin Thomas, man. All you need to know about Tech and their offense and what they like to do is Justin Thomas threw the ball 6 times and completed 5 of them. Yes. So good win for Georgia Tech. I really like that Jacoby Brissett kid from North Carolina State. I see that kid possibly even getting a shot in the NFL, even though his team isn't that good and his stats sometimes don't show it. Really like that kid. So good win for Georgia Tech. And next week at home, they take on the Clemson Tigers. Yes. So great weekend and all. We get the trifecta. All of the Georgia teams win their games this past weekend. So that's a great thing. Who does the Falcons have next week? The Falcons on next weekend take on, don't know. I'll pull that up. Oh, they take on Carolina. Speaking of Carolina, Carolina plays tonight against the Philadelphia Eagles. So that's a good matchup, even though the Panthers' record isn't that great. But you got kind of a sexy matchup. You got Mark Sanchez trying to show that he still got it, all right, for the Philadelphia Eagles as he's starting now. And then you have, Carolina. Whenever Cam Newton's involved in the game, you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. Whenever Cam Newton's involved, it seems like there's a lot of hoopla. There's a lot of excitement whenever Cam Newton plays. So we'll see what happens to them. All right? 404-382-0338 is the number to the show. 404-382-0338 is the number to the show. And what we do also on this show, not just Mondays, but in particular Mondays, I read a lot of your chat messages on Spreaker.com. Yes, I read a lot of those. I want your Ballas and your Bustas from this past weekend. Who is it? There's a ton to give out. There are a ton of Ballas and Bustas to give out from this past weekend. So I'll read a lot of your chat. I also read some of your messages on Twitter. My Twitter handle is @TheDougStewartShow. All right, so that's how you can hit me up on Twitter, and I'll read a lot of those. Have you told people all weekend? Have anybody that you bumped into, did you tell them about the Doug Stewart Show? I mean, we're doing big things. We got a new sponsor. I'll talk about them in a minute. We rolling. We are rolling around this camp, man. So make sure and pass the gift and the love of the Doug Stewart Show, man. Where all of the old dogs and poodles at? We got Bird from Jersey that checks in. Triple Digit checks in. But there's a lot of people that used to listen to the show and frequently call in. And once again, I know you might can't get on the phone at your boss's job or at your job when your boss is on your back or whatever. I get that. But yeah, shouts out to all of the old Two Live Stews, Triple Platinum listeners. Holla at your folk, all right? Up next on the Doug Stewart Show, we'll read more of your chat, or I'll read your chat. I'll read some of your tweets, and give out more Balls and Busters all day long. It's a Balla and Buster Monday. Don't go away. This is the Doug Stewart Show. Millionaires are being made all season long at DraftKings.com, America's favorite one-week fantasy football site. One-week fantasy means no season-long commitments. Play whenever you want. Got an injured player? No problem. At DraftKings.com, it's like a new season every week, so you're never stuck with the same players. Pick your team in minutes, and you could be on your way to winning huge cash. This season, one listener turned $10 into $5,000. Another turned $2 into $10,000. And a new millionaire has been crowned nearly every week this season at DraftKings.com. You could be next. Imagine winning $1 million in one day just playing fantasy football at DraftKings.com. Get free entry into their $100,000 fantasy football contest this weekend, where first place takes home $10,000. Head to DraftKings.com now and enter promo code Spreaker to play for free. DraftKings.com, bigger events, bigger winnings, bigger millionaires. Enter Spreaker for free entry now at DraftKings.com. DraftKings.com, that's DraftKings.com.
What is 9/11 Tax Relief? It's a tax relief company that can help you reduce or remove your IRS or state tax debt. They help stop bank levies and wage garnishments by implementing offers and compromise or penalty abatements. 9/11 Tax Relief is a tax relief company, but they're different from the others. Their experts are licensed, enrolled tax agents, and they also have more than 12 years experience helping people solve their tax problems. They're a tax relief company that understands how the IRS works and they'll also put that knowledge to work for you so they can get you the best possible settlement or solution to your tax problems. Highly rated by the Better Business Bureau, and they've helped thousands of people solve their tax problems. So, don't play around. Click on the link on my website and let 9/11 Tax Relief help you in your situation with your uncle, better yet known as Uncle Sam. The Doug Stewart Show is off and running, but just like every company, we need sponsors. Would yours like to work with one of the livest, most dynamic, and recognized sports talk show personalities in America? By the way, that's me. Getting in on the ground floor? Well, call us at 770-847-0536 or email me at doug@thedugstewartshow.com and let's do business. From the smallest company in Atlanta to the biggest brands nationally and worldwide, shawty. People know me and the Stews brand in these streets. Holla at your boat. Once again, the number is 770-847-0536 or email me at doug@thedugstewartshow.com. Yes!
In an all-out war against lame-ass sports talk, the Doug Stewart Show.
Welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show. This is a Man Talk Monday. And we need your Ballas and your Bustas from this past weekend. A lot to give out. I mean, it's too many to give out. It's almost too much to give out because, just a lot of great football this past weekend. And so we're going to talk about that all day long today. This segment is brought to you by DraftKings. Yes! Shouts out to our new sponsor, DraftKings, man. I told you we rolling around this bitch. Yeah, shouts out to DraftKings, man. Millionaires are being made all season long at DraftKings.com, America's favorite one-week fantasy football site. So check them out at DraftKings.com. Go to my website, thedugstewartshow.com, and click on their banner link and get down with this one-week fantasy football action. A lot of fun. If your team sucks, you can get rid of them. You know how you do. You know, all right? So we play fantasy football on this show. In particular, now we're playing with DraftKings. Yes! So go to my website, thedugstewartshow.com, and check out DraftKings doing it real, real big. Get you some of this fantasy football money. Speaking of which, the Doug Stewart Show 1 Week Fantasy League is actually, we'll announce the winner tomorrow. It's hot and heavy being contested right now. I did a 10-man league last week, and so tomorrow I'll let you know who the winner was. So make sure you go to my website, thedugstewartshow.com, and click on DraftKings banner link and get down with that. All right, 404-382-0338. Let's read some of this chat on the Doug Stewart Show. What we need is your Ballas and your Bustas from this past weekend, whatever that may be. Ball award from Scotty. No, actually, Scotty says Tyler Perry gets a Buster for filing a restraining order against a stalker. That's a dude. Huh? He should have whooped his ass. No, Scotty. I get where you're coming from, but I don't see Tyler Perry fighting nobody, especially a dude. That's not a good look. Okay. From Fred Mack, he says Lakers pulled the lid off that thing. Start of something big. Not giving up yet. A ball award yet, though, for the Los Angeles Lakers. Yeah, Lakers get a ball award. Why not? Yes. Lakers get a ball award. They get their first win. Charles Barkley can eat. He had maintained that he wasn't going to eat until the Lakers win a game. I don't know why the hell he would do something like that. He could have been a starving son of a bitch out of here if the Lakers wouldn't have got that win, because the Lakers stretch is coming up. The next couple of weeks is going to be real, real tough. So Barkley lucked out on that as the Lakers do get a win. All right, 404-382-0338 is the number to the show. You can email me at doug@thedugstewartshow.com. Speaking of which, if you're a company out there and you like to work with the Doug Stewart Show, we love to work with you. I mean, you can tell we work with folks. People working with us, all right? Because we doing big things around here. We having a lot of fun. We talking about these sports. We keeping it real. So if you are a company out there and you like to partner with the Doug Stewart Show, you think it's a good mix between sports and dudes, between like 35 and 55, and we have a lot of fun, and you like to promote your product, your brand, your company, you can do that on this show, all right? So email me at doug@thedugstewartshow.com, and let's do some business, all right? 404-382-0338. is the number to the show. Ball award goes to Peyton Manning. 5 touchdown passes last night. Damn it. Everybody throws 5 touchdown passes against the Raiders, though. But anyway, 5 touchdown passes against the Raiders. And that's 29 touchdown passes this season. Dude is on a pace to throw over 50. And it will be the 3rd time in NFL history if he goes over 50 touchdown passes. Now, the other 2 times it was done, Peyton did it one other time. I'm sure you remember that. And then Tom Brady also did it when he had Randy Moss down there. Speaking of Randy Moss, can't wait to see Rand University tomorrow. I am so geeked up about that. 30 for 30 on ESPN. So Peyton's well on his way to just crushing more records and adding to his touchdown record that he just set a couple of weeks ago. And I love it, and I guess the NFL is exciting and it's flourishing, and the league has never done any better. But I always like to step back as a historian of the game and just want people to remember, man, a lot of these stats are just watered down. And I'm going to talk in a second about all of these touchdown passes some of these quarterbacks threw this past weekend. I just talked about it just now. Peyton's already got 29 freaking touchdown passes, and we just over halfway the season. So the game has changed big time, man. As a defensive back, you can't touch a receiver. You can't hit a guy, so the intimidation factor is out. So bust the award for the NFL for making the game just real soft. Bust ass award. The game is fun, I guess. And it's, a lot of offense, high-octane offenses. And they throw the ball around 40, 50, 60 times. But let's keep this thing in perspective. And I remember last week I kind of joned on the great Joe Namath and talked about how in the era of football that he played in, it was good. But in comparison to guys that play quarterback today, it pales in comparison because it was a different game. Running backs don't carry the ball 30, 35 times a game like they routinely used to do back in the day. So it's a different game now. So you got to kind of put these stats in perspective with Brady and Manning and Drew Brees and these guys are doing. I'm not trying to throw shade and saying that they aren't great quarterbacks, but let's keep it in perspective. Some of the quarterbacks back in the day in today's offenses and the way that referees call defensive pass interference and flagrant fouls and holding, it's a much different game. You just have to remember that, man. Shouts out also Ball Award to Julius Thomas. Speaking of Peyton Manning, Julius Thomas is getting a lot of that love from Peyton Manning as this guy, man, at this point in the season, has the most receiving TDs tied with Randy Moss in the NFL's history. Yes, he has 12 touchdowns, man. And so Randy Moss had 12 at this point in the season. There was 3 other guys that also, the stat that I read a little bit earlier as well, as far as this point in the season, with 12 TD passes. So shouts out to Julius Thomas. You're talking about a quarterback making you look good, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. Could you imagine if you're a receiver playing with Peyton Manning? And I remember when Peyton signed with the Denver Broncos and Bebe, Demaryius Thomas had really talked highly of the fact that he was happy he spoke highly of Peyton Manning and said he couldn't wait to play with him, and he looked forward to play with him. And his career has just flourished because of Peyton Manning. And at the same time, he didn't want to cast, dispersions on Tim Tebow. But it is what it is, and it's funny to me. I wonder what those fans in Denver that were mad that the Broncos were bringing in Peyton Manning and getting rid of Tim Tebow, I wonder what they're saying right now. You probably couldn't find them. You probably could not find them because they were adamant Tim Tebow's our guy. You freaking kidding me? Get out of here with that BS, man. I almost cursed just now. I'm not going to curse. I promised myself I wouldn't really curse and do too much cussing on the show, even though I have the ability to do that because I'm my old boss. And this is the HBO Sports Talk Radio. But, yeah. Everybody in Denver, all of the Tim Tebow sheep were mad because they were bringing in Peyton Manning. That's crazy. Think back to all of the controversy and the outrage from people. Tim Tebow's good. Just give him more time. He can grow in this offense and he can become a better quarterback. We don't need Peyton Manning. That's what you heard from Denver Bronco fans. That's what you heard. Some of the most insane stuff that you ever hear in your lifetime and talking about Tim Tebow and Peyton Manning coming in. And John Elway, being the great quarterback that he was, and knowing great quarterbacks when he see them, he was like, damn that, y'all just be bad at me. And so great move by the Denver Broncos. Great play this year by Peyton Manning, just doing fantastic. And on the way to break more records. So Ball Award goes to him and to Julius Thomas. And you are listening to the Doug Stewart Show. The number is 404-382-0338. From KC Ball Award to my Seminoles of Florida State, because all we do is win. And he's exactly right. That's all Florida State does is win. So they get a big win this past weekend over, who was it? It was Virginia. That's right. So Florida State gets another win. And quietly, and people aren't really talking about this, Jameis Winston quietly has never lost a game in college football. Yes! Come on, son. You had that quarterback guru dude, I can't remember his name right now, put Jameis Winston on the same pedestal with Andrew Luck as far as what he knows about the game and his field generalmanship. And the guy had lost the game in college football. I think we forget about that. The guy has not lost a college football game almost through his second season. National championship, Heisman Trophy. Come on, man. Show some love and give a ball to Jameis Winston in Florida State. Wow, I didn't even think about that. Thanks for the little reminder. Who was that gave me that? Somebody has already scrolled up on my chat line. But yes, not only did Florida State win to remain undefeated, they're in that Final Four for the playoffs in college football, but their quarterback hadn't lost a game. I think sometimes we just got to sit back and smell the roses. This guy hasn't missed a game. Now, he'll jump up on the table and use some vulgarity. He allegedly is very frisky, sometimes he says things that you can't figure it out. And don't forget, he will steal some crab legs from your ass. But he is undefeated in college football. Show some love to Jameis Winston. All right, up next on the Doug Stewart Show, we'll continue to read your chat. I'll continue to throw out ball awards. And we'll continue to do what we do around here, man. Have a lot of fun on this Man Talk Monday. Don't go away. It's the Doug Stewart Show. Business owners, Advertising Limited is one of the few national flyer and door hanger distribution companies that service every market in the U.S., promoting your grand opening or special event, as well as creating brand recognition amongst the public. Here's what they do. They deliver your printed ad or promotion to the front door of your targeted customer. The beauty is they outperform direct mail advertising, and your ad doesn't get lost in the mailbox. Now, isn't that what really matters? Boom! The most professional, reliable distribution teams in the business, and they also provide real-time proof of performance for all campaigns. An A rating with the Better Business Bureau, and were voted one of the fastest growing companies in the U.S. by Inc. magazine. Advertising Limited has the capability to print and distribute up to 20,000 flyers or more for less than the price of a stamp. Use the promo code DSS and get an extra 10% discount on your initial campaign. So, give them a call at 1-866-369-9003. Again, that's 1-866-369-9003, or check out their website at goadvertiseunlimited.com and make your advertising dollars count. Yes!
You've been thinking about starting that online store, right? And you do know e-commerce makes billions a year. That's right, billions with a B. Well, just do it and do it right with my friends at AmeriCommerce. AmeriCommerce is an easy-to-use tool to sell anything online, on Facebook, and through mobile phones. Over 100,000 merchants and website owners have chosen AmeriCommerce to handle their stores and customers. They have the most in-depth features in the industry, which include multiple storefronts, website management from one console, a Facebook shopping application, a mobile-optimized website, and much, much more. Don't let eBay, Amazon, and Zappos get all the money. Get your piece of the pie, too. Click on their link on thedougstewartshow.com or the app link for details. The Doug Stewart Show is off and running, but just like every company, we need sponsors. Would yours like to work with one of the livest, most dynamic, and recognized sports talk show personalities in America? By the way, that's me. Getting in on the ground floor? Well, call us at 770-847-0536 or email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com and let's do business. From the smallest company in Atlanta to the biggest brands nationally and worldwide, shawty. People know me and the Stews brand in these streets. I'll let you both. Once again, the number is 770-847-0536 or email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Yes!
It's a radio uprising in here. The Doug Stewart Show.
Welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show. If you're not still in, what in the hell are you doing? Huh? What are you doing? Yeah, thank you for joining your folk, man. You can give me a call at 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. This segment is brought to you by Advertisers Unlimited. Check them out at goadvertiseunlimited.com. Wow, they're doing big things, man. If you want to try one of the latest and the best and the newest ways to market to your customers, business owners, try out Advertisers Unlimited. Yes, what they do is they take those little door hanger things and they plop them on people's doors. So when they come home, they see it. It's right there. You can't avoid it. Can't just throw it in the trash like direct mail. So one of the biggest and best companies in this country to do it. An A rating by the Better Business Bureau. Give them a call at 1-866-369-9003. Once again, that's 866-369-9003. And use the promo code DSS. All right? This is the Doug Stewart Show. And we're doing Ballas and Bustas today. I'm reading a lot of chat. I'm reading stuff from Twitter. So if you got a baller or a buster you'd like to give out, talk about anything that happened this past weekend, we can do it on this show. So this past weekend was my birthday weekend. And so what I did this weekend, my wife took me out to this spot called the Georgia Juke Joint. I think that's what it's called. Right smack downtown off of Peachtree. Never been to this place before in my life. And I don't know where she heard about it at, but evidently this place has been around for a while. They got like a little cover band playing, not dancing, but it's like a restaurant, and it's like packed. And we walk in this place, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. We walk in this place, and they say it's a 3-hour wait. What? Who stays in a place that has a 3-hour wait? So anyway, we paid already $15 to park, and so we say, let's just buzz around the bar and try to get a couple of drinks or whatever, and just try to watch the band standing up. And all of a sudden, lo and behold, how you at the mall during Christmas holidays and all of the parking spaces are gone, and the minute a car comes out, you try to fly into that space. Somebody stood up, and I mean, a quarter of a second, my wife was on it. So we actually got to sit down. We had a great time. And shouts out to the Georgia Juke Joint. I think that's what it's called, the Georgia Juke Joint. It's Juke Joint something or other. And right downtown, right across the street from the Ritz. Is it the Ritz-Carlton, I believe, right next to 200 Peachtree. And I had a good time out there, man. I didn't even know about the place. And like I said, it's been around for a while. So I did that. And also, what else did I do this weekend? Didn't do anything else. Watched a lot of football. Just watched a ton of football. In here talking about these ballers and these busters and all of the whatnot and what happened in college football and pro football. A lot of little stories out there, so we're talking about it today. From Chucktown Frank, he says, Georgia Juke Joint. Okay, I guess that's the name. From Chucktown Frank also says, folks sleeping on the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets, but in the words of the great Ryan, Rah-Rah Stewart, they ain't about that life, son. Yeah, Georgia Tech, I mean, Georgia Tech's 8-2. Who would have saw it coming from that ninja? It's not that like a college student has ever screamed Newsy before, such as a terrible crime. Winston should be held accountable for ruining the lives of American people. He should be held accountable or shouldn't. I'm not sure about your statement. It kind of doesn't match up, that ninja. Maybe you hit me back. From Jersey Vern says, I'm here, Doug. What's up, son? Ohio State is what's up. Yes, Ohio State gets a Baller Award and probably the biggest win this past weekend. Yes, as they beat Michigan State. So great win for Ohio State. What's the kid's name? JT Barrett. He continues to perform fantastic. Braxton Miller goes down with an injury. And that's the thing about these big-time programs like that. And Urban Meyer is shown to be a great recruiter. At a program like Ohio State, you usually don't, lose a lot when you bring in the backup because the backup is probably a 4 or 5-star recruit. So Ohio State loses early in the year with the transition from Braxton to this JT Barrett kid, and they lose to Virginia Tech. And I'm still trying to figure out why Ohio State isn't ranked a little bit higher. We'll see what happens tomorrow night with the new college football playoff poll that's going to come out. Comes out every Tuesday night. But I look for Ohio State to jump, and you know me, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. I'm not an Ohio State fan, to say the least. As a matter of fact, I probably would be classified as an Ohio State hater because they beat my Miami Hurricanes a couple of years ago in the national championship under a bootleg pass interference call. We're not going to go back down that road. But, yeah, Ohio State, this Barrett kid, Baller Wars, they're playing fantastic. A lot of people are high on Michigan State. A lot of teams. A lot of people were high on Michigan State. And once again, Michigan State's kind of like Clemson in that regard where they'll get your hopes up and then they'll lose. And then they're back to mediocrity and not a team that's really going to vie for a national championship. So shouts out to Ohio State. Great win for them. And wow. I can't wait to see this poll tomorrow night because Ohio State's got a very good claim. They had the best win this past weekend of a lot of teams that had one loss. They got the cachet of being one of the big premier programs in college football. They've got a great coach in Urban Meyer. So we'll see what happens with the polls tomorrow night with Ohio State. 404-382-0338. Ball award goes to the Clemson Tigers as they get a big win over Wake Forest, 34-20. Cole Stout, Cliff's little boy, threw for 282 yards, 3 touchdowns. So a fantastic win. He was 27 for 42, 382 yards. He's only holding that spot warm until the Deshaun Watson kid gets back. The kid from Georgia, the true freshman, looks fantastic, went down with an injury. So shouts out to the Clemson Tigers, my home state. I always root for the Tigers or for the Gamecocks, no matter what. And if they're playing against each other, I probably root more for South Carolina. I've told the story before. You're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. Clemson is basically in another state. Like, Clemson is a long-ass way from my hometown. It's almost like that conversation we had a couple of weeks ago from, how big the state of Florida is and how far Pensacola, Florida, and the Gulf Coast is to Miami. It's like another world. Like, for me, I really think, like, my hometown to Clemson is probably 4.5 hours. This is a long-ass way. So growing up, I only went to one, Clemson game, I think, in my life. I went to probably 10, 15, 20 University of South Carolina games because it's right up the road, pretty much like an hour and a half from my hometown. My hometown's kind of split right down the middle, though, as far as Clemson fans and South Carolina fans. On a weekend, you'll see Clemson flags, being displayed on cars, as well as you'll see Carolina fans displayed on cars. So it's almost like a house divided as far as our loyalties to the college football programs and college football. You're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. Thank you so much for joining your boy. The number to the show is 404-382-0338. Do you have a ball award you'd like to give out? Give me a call, 404-382-0338. I'll give you your own sports talk show for about 30, 40 seconds. Yes. We already mentioned the fact that Ohio State got a huge win. Ball award goes to the Dallas Cowboys. And I almost hate doing that. But Dallas gets a win to get back on the winning track. They had lost their last 2 games, and so they handle their business, I guess the best way to put it, and beating the Jacksonville Jaguars this past weekend. Your boy Dez Bryant, who is a beast, 6 catches, 158 yards, 2 touchdowns. He gets the ball award. Tony Romo, 3 touchdown passes, and no interceptions, I believe. And the guy is doing this with 2 broken bones in his back. How does that happen? So I'm going to go ahead and give credit where credit's due. Ball award goes to Dallas Cowboys, to Dez Bryant for balling out of control, for Tony Romo as they get it done. And Dallas is 7-3 on the year. Didn't see that coming. And I almost feel embarrassed to go back and listen to the tape of my predictions about Dallas. But guess what? I wasn't the only one. I was not the only one that thought Dallas was going to suck. So you got to give them a lot of credit. You got to give the coaching staff, Jason Garrett, and what those guys are doing. Now, let's not really get too carried away. They're supposed to beat Jacksonville. I mean, come on. You're supposed to beat Jacksonville. Jacksonville sucks, okay? And probably one of the worst teams in the league. Historically, over the last couple of years, is right there with the Oakland Raiders as just being a bad team and just can't get right. And they got a lot of issues. So Dallas is supposed to win this game. But you know what? A lot of times teams lose games that they're supposed to win. So a win is a win is a win. So congratulations to the Dallas Cowboys for being 7-3 on the year. Absolutely incredible. And I know Dallas fans, and I didn't see a ton of it, and I guess the Dallas fans didn't want to brag or boast too much as they have in the past on this good stretch that they're having this year because it was Jacksonville. So I guess that's the reason why we just didn't get, how about them Cowboys inundated, and we them boys and all of that crap this weekend, because I think Dallas fans were just kind of laying low. Yes, we're supposed to beat the Jacksonville Jaguars. Nothing to see here. Move along. So, yeah, a good win for the Dallas Cowboys. And, wow, who's the best receiver in the NFL? Like, if you had your choice as far as young receivers in the league, who would you take? I just thought about it. I think clearly it would be Calvin Johnson. But I guess who would be number 2? Because there's a ton of great young receivers in this league. And Dez Bryant is right up there in the conversation with the best in the game. Yes. All right, 404-382-0338. Make sure and tell one person about the livest, the realest, the treeless sports talk show in America, The Doug Stewart Show. All right, don't go away. Up next, more Ballas, more Bustas, more chat, more fun on this Man Talk Monday. Don't go away.
This your folk, Doug Stewart. Want to protect you and your family from life's unexpected mishaps? Then join 7. Join 7 is a prepaid legal company under the umbrella of the Protection Group. Join 7 is the only group benefit or motor club in the U.S. that offers auto reimbursement coverage, key replacement coverage, roadside assistance, gives you a current Medi-file, prescription savings, and a fully encompassed prepaid legal benefit that includes identity theft. They got your back. The average combined cost to purchase these benefits individually is over $850 a year. Join today and take advantage of all 7 for $17 a month. They've been around for over 20 years, so check them out by clicking on the banner link on my page, thedougstewartshow.com, or the app. Just go ahead and join 7. All right, I know the deal. You've been thinking about starting that online store, right? And you do know e-commerce makes billions a year. That's right, billions with a B. Well, just do it, and do it right with my friends at AmeriCommerce. AmeriCommerce is an easy-to-use tool to sell anything online, on Facebook, and through mobile phones. Over 100,000 merchants and website owners have chosen AmeriCommerce to handle their stores and customers. They have the most in-depth features in the industry, which include multiple storefronts, website management from one source, a Facebook shopping application, a mobile-optimized website, and much more. Don't let eBay, Amazon, and Zappos get all the money. Get your piece of the pie, too. Click on the link on thedougstewartshow.com or the app link for details. The Doug Stewart Show is off and running, but just like every company, we need sponsors. Would yours like to work with one of the livest, most dynamic, and recognized sports talk show personalities in America? By the way, that's me. Getting in on the ground floor? Well, call us at 770-847-0536 or email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com and let's do business. From the smallest company in Atlanta to the biggest brands nationally and worldwide, shawty. People know me and the Stews brand in these streets. Holla at your folk. Once again, the number is 770-847-0536 or email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Yes!
In an all-out war against lame-ass sports talk, The Doug Stewart Show.
And we're winning the war. We are winning the war against lame-ass sports talk on the Doug Stewart Show, man. Make sure you tell at least 172 people about the livest, the most interactive, the most fun show on radio. I love putting my wrestler voice on radio. Oh, man, hope you had a great weekend. As well as shouts out to our veterans, man. Happy Veterans Day to you. Thank you for what you do. I mentioned it earlier. It takes a very special person to get shot at for a living and to defend this country and put their life on the line. So much respect to those guys, man. I was in the ROTC. That doesn't count. I know it doesn't count, but I was in the ROTC, so I got respect for our country and our service people big time. I only was in ROTC for a year. And then I was like, nah, I'm good. So much love to those guys. I know a lot of people. South Carolina State is kind of called the Black West Point. We commission more officers, black officers, than any other school in the country. Look it up. We got like a couple of 4-star generals, maybe even 5-star generals. I don't know exactly how that order works. General Twitty just got commissioned this past year from my chapter. He's also my frat brother. He went to South Carolina State. Look up Henry Doctor. Henry Doctor actually grew up around the corner from me. Another 5-star general. So, yeah, we're doing it big time. Abe Turner. Look up Abe Turner if you don't believe me. So, South Carolina State, it's called the Black West Point. And so we much respect and love for our military, our servicemen around this country on this Veterans Day. This is the Doug Stewart Show. The number to the show is 404-382-0338. Once again, 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedugstewartshow.com. All right, so we're talking about your Ballas and your Bustas from this past weekend. Very eventful weekend. Weekend in the world of sports. Busta Award goes to, and I hate to give out Busta Awards to college kids, but sometimes college kids do some dumbass things, and they deserve it. Yeah, so Busta Award goes to Kalen Clay. Now, you may be saying to yourself, because I think the majority of our listeners are based here in Georgia, the metro Atlanta area, so you may say, who the hell is Kalen Clay? Kalen Clay from Utah drops the ball when scoring or about to score a TD against Oregon at the goal line this past weekend. Ball award goes actually to the referee that didn't get mind tricked or mind screwed and realized that dude dropped the ball before he entered into the end zone and crossed the goal line. It would have put Utah up 14-0 in the second quarter against Oregon. You know I'm not a fan of Oregon. But the dude drops the ball doing his best Deshaun Jackson impersonation. Yes, drops the ball to one. Oregon on the flip side, Joe Walker picks the ball up and goes 100 yards the other way, so he actually gets a ball award. All of this goes down in one play, and then the rest is history, and Oregon goes on to mollywop Utah. Which, by the way, shouts out to Utah. They had some fly-ass uniforms on. Those uniforms that Utah wore this past weekend were real fly. But Oregon goes on to roll 51-27. And let's just be real about this, man. This Marcus Mariota kid is going to win the Heisman Trophy because it seems like that's the way the wind is blowing. It seems like the national media loves him. And I'm not saying he's not a great quarterback, but no one else has really stepped up this year. Like, Jameis Winston has done good, and they've won these games, but the problem with Jameis Winston is the controversy, as well as the fact that they look very unimpressive. You know, early on in a lot of these games, they're coming back and winning. And I talked about it earlier. This dude is undefeated, so that should count for something. But you can go ahead and book it right now. Unless Marcus Mariota has a game where he throws like 5 or 6 interceptions and causes Oregon to lose, he's going to win the Heisman. This weekend, he rushed for 114 yards. He throws for 3 touchdowns and another big win. And the kid is going to win the Heisman Trophy. You can go ahead and just give it to him right now. I mean, great player. I'm very interested to see how he's going to perform at the next level. I want to see if he's a guy that is really just a system quarterback, a guy that can play at the next level. I'm very interested to see that and how he performs. So, great win by him. They're going to go ahead and get it done. But, yeah, man, I'm not a fan of Oregon, man, and all that crap because I just feel like history is going to repeat itself. Remember Oregon played Auburn a couple of years ago? And, they'd had all the success. They were putting up like 40, 50 points on everybody every week in and week out, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. And then they played in the national championship against Auburn and got, like, hit in the mouth. And all of that finesse crap, man, I mean, it just doesn't work. So we'll see what happens. All right, let's go ahead and grab a call. Caller, you're on the Doug Stewart Show. What's your name? Where are you calling from? And what do you want to talk about?
Stewart, what's happening?
What up?
Huntsville, man.
T from Huntsville. How you doing, brother?
I'm good, man. Enjoying the show as always. Just kick back, man.
Appreciate
get
it.
in on my Ballas and Bustas if you don't mind.
Go ahead. Give me your Ballas and your Bustas, T.
Hey, give my first baller to MV7. I guess someone on the Spreaker chat said I guess he's MV1 right about now.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, he played a solid game, handled business, and I know I might be in a minority opinion in this. In my mind, if the man has time to throw and weapons to throw to, he's going to produce.
That's the great mystery. Not only now with Mike Vick, but even when he was in Atlanta. The question was the protection a lot of times. And if he had better protection, if he had protection like some of these other guys like Peyton Manning and Drew Brees or Tom Brady over their careers, would statistically and I guess legacy-wise, would he be looked at as a much better quarterback? We'll never know now, though.
Yeah, for sure. We'll never know. But, I mean, I think that's a great point. And I just like to say as a side note, as far as all those quarterbacks that everybody say is great, one thing nobody ever talks about, look at this one factor. None of them had to do a lot of team changing, and if they did, they didn't have to change their offense. All those guys, Brady, all those guys, even if they coordinators left, they basically had the same offense. They had comfort. They didn't have coordinators slipping and people that were considered horrible coaches.
Right.
Peyton, Brady, Drew Brees, Sean Payton's a great coordinator. All of them have had steadiness at that, and that helps them with their numbers.
Yeah.
So people just need to consider that. They never remember that part. I like to give a baller to the Ohio State University. We handled business against Michigan State. And, man, it was a good game. We needed it bad. We got revenge from last year. I mean, it'll never be the same because they took our chances to go play for a title away. But,
I don't know. I don't know if they're going to be able to drop enough to get a spot in that Final Four, but it's a lot of conversation over the last night, day and a half since Ohio State got this big win over Michigan State this past weekend.
Yeah. I mean, I need a lot of people to lose. Man. I hope everybody lost a game or two, to be honest. That's the only shot we really got.
Right.
Although TCU and those cats, I don't look at their season being any better than ours. Their losses weren't that good themselves.
I agree, but they're getting a lot of love. TCU and Baylor, they're getting a lot of love. I agree. I mean, it's almost like they're discounting the conference that they're playing, the level of play that they consistently play week in and week out. And it's almost like they're penalizing the SEC because the SEC has just been so dominant over the years. I agree with you.
Yeah, it seems like it. And plus, our quarterback is much improved. J.T. Barrett can throw that rock.
Yeah.
I mean, he was very early in the season then. It was his first football he played in 2 years because he messed up his ACL his high school senior year. I mean, he's improved so much, man. We're a much better squad. A much better squad than we were at the beginning of the year.
What else you got?
Let me give a buster in my eyes anyway to, I'd say, 85, 90% of the announcers and play-by-play guys. Good God almighty. Could you be more biased? In my opinion, when somebody's playing, certain quarterbacks throw the ball, if it's a bad pass, they stay on them all day about it. Other guys, they make excuses for it. Drew Brees did not have that good a game. That's okay. Say so. They're making excuses saying that was not an interference on my man right for overtime. He blatantly pushed him down. I mean, at the end of the day, dude, commentate everybody equally. Even though Brady never won Super Bowls, when they have a bad game, it's okay to say so.
Right.
It's annoying as hell to me personally when I watch a game, you just can't get evenly out of what the hell's going on. That's about all I got, dog, man. I appreciate the time. Love the show. Thank God for those who, if you don't know it, that's on the radio. I'm gone.
Appreciate the call, T. T called 404-382-0338. That is the number to the show, and he's exactly right. I don't know if I want to give Jimmy Graham a Buster Award, and I'll go back to Vic in a second, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. I don't know if I want to give him a Buster Award, but, I mean, there couldn't be any other. I mean, like, I don't even understand what's the controversy. I heard those guys this morning on First Take. I had it on Stephen A. and my folks Skip Ballas. I heard them arguing about was it a pass interference or not. Huh? Do you have eyes? And that's what they do a lot of times. They just make up these old bootleg talking points or debate topics on First Take. Lord knows I know, and I love my folks there. I love my folks that produced that show. I love a lot of the folks up there at the Puppet Factory, but once again, it is the Puppet Factory. But come on, man, that's not even a conversation. Jimmy Graham almost knocked the dude down. Now, did he exaggerate it or whatever? I think his name is Parrish Cox, defensive back for the San Francisco 49ers. Did the dude, exaggerate it? Did he sell it? Yes. But there's not even a discussion. He clearly pushed him to try to make that play on the Hail Mary at the end of the game yesterday. So I don't get that at all. And back to Mike Vick, man. Mike Vick throws one of the prettiest balls I think I've ever seen in the history of football, man. And it's very disappointing because what could have been for this guy and the talent level. And if he would have took the game more seriously in a lot of people's opinions, I don't know so much about that. And the offensive line and the coaching and then the going to jail stuff, what would Vick's career would have been like if a couple of other things would have been in place? But you can't deny. And watching that game yesterday, or even if you saw the highlights of your boy Trent Dilfer, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, your boy Trent Dilfer gave Mike Vick on SportsCenter one of his quote-unquote Dilfer dimes. He gave him a Dilfer dime, and they showed a couple of his touchdown passes in left-handed, looking like a bootleg Steve Young. Damn, that dude throws a good ball. He does. But, just so much wasted talent and years. And what could he have been? And he did it to himself. He did it to himself. In a lot of the dude did it to himself. What could have been? What could have been? What if he would have had the mindset like Russell Wilson? What? And what if he would have known how to slide? Not like a dumbass and keep running into linebackers. I don't get that. But yeah, just wasted talent, man. It's just wasted talent, and it really hurts. This dude throws one of the prettiest balls you will ever see. But didn't do what the hell he was supposed to. All right, up next on the Doug Stewart Show, more of your chat, more of your ballers and your busters. We'll be going into the second hour. It's Sports Talk with Hot Sauce, Texas Pete Hot Sauce. Don't go away. It's the Doug Stewart Show.
The Doug Stewart Show is off and running. But just like every company, we need sponsors. Would yours like to work with one of the livest, most dynamic, and recognized sports talk show personalities in America? By the way, that's me. Getting in on the ground floor? Well, call us at 770-847-0536 or email me at doug@thedugstewartshow.com and let's do business. From the smallest company in Atlanta to the biggest brands nationally and worldwide, shawty. People know me and the Stews brand in these streets. Holla at your folk. Once again, the number is 770-847-0536 or email me at doug@thedugstewartshow.com. Yes! This your folk, Doug Stewart. Want to protect you and your family from life's unexpected mishaps? Then join 7. Join 7 is a prepaid legal company under the umbrella of the Protection Group. Join 7 is the only group benefit or motor club in the U.S. that offers auto reimbursement coverage, key replacement coverage, roadside assistance, gives you a current Medi-file, prescription savings, and a fully encompassed prepaid legal benefit that includes identity theft. They got your back. The average combined cost to purchase these benefits individually is over $850 a year. Join today and take advantage of all 7 for $17 a month. They've been around for over 20 years, so check them out by clicking on the banner link on my page, thedugstewartshow.com, or the app. Just go ahead and join 7. I'm always saying get with the times. Stop acting like you at your mama house, calling that girl you met at summer camp 2 states away, and your mama screaming out,
I know you better not be talking long distance running up my bill with that little hussy girl.
Well, get with the times with your long distance charges. Presenting Univon. Univon offers unlimited worldwide calling to 60-plus countries for $14.99 a month. No contract, no activation fee, and no cancellation fee. Users can call anytime using their mobile phone or home IP phone. So stop flushing money down the drain. Get more details by clicking Univon's link banner on thedougstewartshow.com or the link on the dougstewartshow.com app. Try out Univon and call your peoples like you not at your mama house.
Welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show. This is hour number 2. Yes, thank you for joining you, folk. I really do appreciate it. And, hit me up at 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. I'm reading your chat, reading your Twitter responses, and we're talking about this past weekend. It's Man Talk Monday. We need your Ballas and your Bustas, a.k.a. your Gameballs and your Goats. This segment is brought to you by AmeriCommerce. All you need to get your online store off the ground, so go to my website, thedougstewartshow.com, and click on their banner link. All right, so Ballas and Bustas this past weekend. The Atlanta Falcons get it done. Big win. They lost 5 in a row, so they get a ball award. They beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Matt Ryan doesn't throw any picks that cost them games. And the Falcons get a win, and they needed one in the worst way. Next week, they take on the Carolina Panthers. Speaking of the Panthers on Monday Night Football tonight. Record not so good, but they got Superman, a.k.a. Cam Newton, going against the Philadelphia Eagles. So it's a nice little storylines with that when Philadelphia takes on Carolina tonight on Monday Night Football. I'm very interested to see if Mark Sanchez can stay on the right foot. Okay, he's got one of the most innovative minds we've ever seen in football offensively with Chip Kelly. And a lot of the conversation on his ineptness when he was with the New York Jets was the offense wasn't that great. He didn't have a lot of talent around him. The system was messed up. They used to ask him not to lose games, so they played very conservative. So we'll see what happens tonight, as now he gets an opportunity to start as Nick Foles is hurt. So Mark Sanchez is on the clock. We'll see what's up with him. Also, a ball award this past weekend goes to the Georgia Bulldogs as they handle their business and beat up on Kentucky 63-31. And man, Kentucky, they had made some noise earlier in the year, but Georgia just goes in there and just rolls them. A big win after having the very disappointing loss this past weekend, the past weekend before against the Florida Gators. So good win for the Georgia Bulldogs. And Georgia Tech, they put up 63 against North Carolina State. Shouts out to the Yellow Jackets. And despite popular opinion, I'm always rooting for Georgia Tech. For some reason, my brother on the show, on the Two Live Stews, he always thought that I was dry hating on Georgia Tech. That's ridiculous. Georgia Tech's really the reason why I moved to the state of Georgia and moved to Atlanta. It was because Ryan went to school there, and the first time that I came here on a visit to see him, they took me to Magic City. And the rest is history. Magic City alone has probably brought more ninjas to the city of Atlanta than anything else. Yes, so I love Atlanta. If he didn't go to Georgia Tech, it might not have been a Two Live Stews. If he would have went to, I don't know, to Florida State, I promise you I wouldn't move into no damn Tallahassee. So, yes, the city of Atlanta, I love the city of Atlanta. This is my 20-year anniversary of living in Atlanta. It is, yes, it's my 20th anniversary. So, I love ATL, man. It was going to Magic City, and it was also coming to Freaknik. And the Freaknik that I came to was in 94. And if you remember the Freaknik in 94, that's what they tell me. Now, listen, people that had attended all of the Freakniks before that, those people tell me that around 94, 95 is where it started to get out of hand. And yes, I'm a witness. In 94, 95 Freakniks, it was anarchy. Okay? It was bedlam. It was just so ridiculous, and it was so off the chain, and Yeah. So Mayor Bill Campbell, and I know I'm getting off track here, but you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. If you remember Atlanta in '94, okay, at the Freaknik in '94, all I can do to explain it to you if you're not from here is just to say this: they had to stop it. They had to. And Bill Campbell took a lot of flack from that. He ended up going to jail later. Shouts out to Bill Campbell. But a lot of people in Atlanta, a lot of companies are mad. A lot of companies aren't mad because some companies, even though they made a ton of money, it was just too much. It was just too much out of control in this. Yes. So I get it. And I was kind of sore at the time because, think about it. In 94, what was I? I was like 25 years old, 24, 25 years old. Just moving to the city, and it was crazy. So, I was in the mix of all of that stuff. But now that I'm 45 years old, I look back at it and I was like, Bill Campbell had to stop it. And if you're from Georgia, if you're from Atlanta, maybe this is a side topic for another day. Can you be real with yourself? If you were in the mix of Freaknik back in the mid-90s, 94, 95, okay, and you're older now, so if you were the same age as I was, you were probably mad then, but as an adult now with kids, and a lot of us with daughters, I got 3, do you understand why Campbell had to stop it? He had to stop it. It was just out of control, man. It was just lewdness and scrippers just scripping like they weren't even in the club. They were on the street and they were scripping, and it was a lot of fornication and a lot of nastiness. It was. So it was just out of control. They had to do it. Bill Campbell had to do it. And me as an adult now, I kind of get it. I was mad then, but Bill, I see what you're saying, Playboy. You had to stop that thing. You had to stop it. You had to absolutely stop it. I'm not going to get back. I'm going to leave that alone now. I can't believe I spent 10 minutes talking about the great Freaknik, but that's what happens sometimes on this show. I'll get a lot of emails from people when you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, and I don't claim to be no storyteller, but a lot of people love when I go back and tell these stories of yesteryear because it's real. I ain't never made up a story on this show, on the Two Live Stews, ever. I'm just giving you some real life experiences, and so Freaknik is near and dear to my heart because really you could say Freaknik and Magic City are the reason that you have the gift of the Two Live Stews. Yes, and in particular right now, the Doug Stewart Show, because those were the two biggest entities that brought me to this city. And I don't know whether I thought there was a Freaknik every other day that I need to move up here, but I wasn't going to miss it. I was not going to miss it. Maybe I was just young and ignorant, country Bama. I don't know what it was, but I had to move to the ATL and everybody named Mama. So it's probably Freaknik, and it was probably Magic City. And also you can throw in there the Olympics. The Olympics brought a lot of people to Atlanta too as well. That was during the same era. What was the Olympics in 96? It came to Atlanta. So yeah, man, this city has just been so great to me, so beautiful to me. I love ATL. I'm like Ric Flair. This is my adopted hometown. ATL, shawty. Yes, ATL, shawty. I ain't never going nowhere if I don't have to. If I don't have to, I ain't going nowhere. I might retire back at the crib one day and go fishing every day and hunting every day and get me a boat and drink me a six-pack every day, maybe when I get in my 60s or something like that. But right now, man, I can't see myself nowhere else other than Atlanta. All right, 404-382-0338 is the number to the show, 404-382-0338. You can also email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. All right. So your Ballas and your Bustas. Ball Award goes to Brent Grimes. Brent Grimes, they call him Optimus Grimes. Did you see the interception this dude had this past weekend? Did you see the interception dude had from Matthew Stafford this weekend? Lions go ahead and win that game. I'm going to shout out the Lions in a second. But Brent Grimes, and I remember when he was here in Atlanta, it was talked about that he was one of the best athletes in the game. He was by far the best athlete on the Atlanta Falcons, and you saw it yesterday. This dude's got like a crazy 50, 60, 70-inch vertical leap. Something crazy, like 5'9", but just a tremendous athlete. So he gets the Ball Award for probably the best interception that you've seen this year. Best interception you've seen this year in the league. So shouts out to the former Atlanta Falcon, Brent Grimes. Ball award also goes to those, Detroit Lions, as the Lions get another win. And the question about the Lions, and yes, I am still congested a little bit. The question about the Lions is this finally the year? Are the Lions going to get it together? Because they're one of those teams as well that really build you up, like Michigan State, who I mentioned a little bit earlier, and then they just let you down. So, is the Lions finally got everything in order? They got the new coach, and Calvin's back from injury, Matthew Stafford's progression as a quarterback. So, is this the year that the Lions take that next step and win a playoff game and maybe vie for a Super Bowl championship? We'll see. Time will tell. We will see. All right, 404-382-0338 is the number to the show. 404-382-0338 is the number to the show from Harold Archie. Freaknik turned into Sodom and Gomorrah. That's right. It went ridiculous. That's exactly right. I mentioned anarchy earlier in Bedlam. Yes, it was Sodom and Gomorrah around this bitch. It was crazy. It was crazy, man. From DJ JB. I was in high school class of 97 in Atlanta and used to sneak out to Freaknik. We'll never forget it. Yes. From Petro. He says, how many 20-year-olds were conceived doing Freaknik in Daytona? Wow. He went back to Daytona. I'm not going to even go back to Daytona. But even Daytona wasn't as off the chain as Freaknik. Daytona was off the chain for Black College Weekend. And I don't know if it still goes on. I've heard rumor that they moved it to another city, or I don't know. I don't know exactly how Daytona still goes down today. But Daytona was tame in comparison to Freaknik. Am I lying? Can I get a witness? And Daytona was off the chain, but it was just a next level of lewdness here for Daytona in the city of Atlanta. So they had to do what they had to do. I totally get it. All right, don't go anywhere. It's the Doug Stewart Show. Millionaires are being made all season long at DraftKings.com, America's favorite one-week fantasy football site. One-week fantasy means no season-long commitments. Play whenever you want. Got an injured player? No problem. At DraftKings.com, it's like a new season every week, so you're never stuck with the same players. Pick your team in minutes, and you could be on your way to winning huge cash. This season, one listener turned $10 into $5,000. Another turned $2 into $10,000. And a new millionaire has been crowned nearly every week this season at DraftKings.com. You could be next. Imagine winning $1 million in one day just playing fantasy football at DraftKings.com. Get free entry into their $100,000 fantasy football contest this weekend, where first place takes home $10,000. Head to DraftKings.com now and enter promo code Spreaker to play for free. DraftKings.com, bigger events, bigger winnings, bigger millionaires. Enter Spreaker for free entry now at DraftKings.com. DraftKings.com, that's DraftKings.com.
What is 9/11 Tax Relief? It's a tax relief company that can help you reduce or remove your IRS or state tax debt. They help stop bank levies and wage garnishments by implementing offers and compromise or penalty abatements. 9/11 Tax Relief is a tax relief company, but they're different from the others. Their experts are licensed, enrolled tax agents, and they also have more than 12 years experience helping people solve their tax problems. They're a tax relief company that understands how the IRS works, and they'll also put that knowledge to work for you so they can get you the best possible settlement or solution to your tax problems. Highly rated by the Better Business Bureau, and they've helped thousands of people solve their tax problems. So, don't play around. Click on the link on my website and let 9/11 Tax Relief help you in your situation with your uncle, better yet known as Uncle Sam. The Doug Stewart Show is off and running, but just like every company, we need sponsors. Would yours like to work with one of the livest, most dynamic, and recognized sports talk show personalities in America? By the way, that's me. Getting in on the ground floor? Well, call us at 770-847-0536 or email me at doug@thedugstewartshow.com and let's do business. From the smallest company in Atlanta to the biggest brands nationally and worldwide, shawty. People know me and the Stews brand in these streets. Holla at your folk. Once again, the number is 770-847-0536 or email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Yes!
This is the Doug Stewart Show, the livest, the most realest, trillest sports talk show in America. And it is a Man Talk Monday, and folks up in this chat room reminiscing about the great Freaknik. They did and you're just joining us, I talked about Freaknik in the last segment. I don't even know how I got sidetracked into talking about that. But anyway, so people reminiscing about the great Freaknik, and bottom line is they had to stop it, man, because it wasn't leading to nothing good. I mean, it was Sodom and Gomorrah. It was. Yes, it was. But it was a fantastic time. My producer, Tree, walked in here and said that she was in a U-Haul with a grill in the back, cooking sausages, moving to Atlanta. Yes, it was a great renaissance in Atlanta in the mid-'90s. You know, like I said earlier, you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, partly because of the Olympics, but partly because of Freaknik and Magic City as well. Yes. So I love my city, man, and so we had a little fun reminiscing about that. The number is 404-382-0338. That's the number to the show. Thanks for joining your boy, and I'm still slightly under the weather. You know how you about to beat that cold, and you start hawking up all of that mucus and all of that phlegm, and I know it's disgusting, but it's real. And so I'm at that stage right now. Well, whenever I go to the break, I'm literally hawking up a pint or two of mucus. So I'm almost done. I'm good. By tomorrow, I should be 100%. And I basically dragged this cold with me for an entire week. Came back from homecoming last week and had a little cold. I don't know if I talked about it, but at homecoming at South Carolina State last weekend, not this past weekend, the weekend before, that morning, the city got hit by a sleet storm. Yes, so it was the coldest homecoming in the history of homecomings that I can remember. And so it was ice covering the entire campus. And a lot of people, so it really hurt the numbers. I think a lot of people stayed in their hotels and didn't come out till a little bit later. So I went out there and I braved it. I went and bought some long draws and had on a hoodie. I had on like layers and went out there and stood in that ice, and it started to clear up a little bit later, but it was horrible. And I caught a cold for the ages. And yeah, so I'm almost past it right now. So ride with your boy. You know, cut me a break. I was rooting for my Bulldogs, and they got it done, beat the dog dude out of Savannah State. So that's the whole history behind my congestion over the last week or so. So, yeah, this is the Doug Stewart Show. The number is 404-382-0338. I'm getting your Ballas and your Bustas from this past weekend. Whatever that may be, you can hit me on the Spreaker. You can also hit me on the Twitter. My Twitter handle is @The Doug Stewart Show. And this segment is brought to you by our friends at DraftKings. That's right, man. DraftKings, one of the new sponsors for the show. Thank you to DraftKings and doing some business with us. But millionaires are being made all season long at DraftKings. That's right, DraftKings.com, America's favorite one-week fantasy football site. Get free entry into their $100,000 fantasy football contest this weekend, where first place takes home, listen to this, $10,000. Yes. So check out DraftKings.com and, win you some money, man. I mean, you claim to be good in fantasy and you know this, that, and the other about sports. Yeah, prove it. Yeah, go to DraftKings and check them out. All right, Ball Award goes to Aaron Rodgers, man. And this is kind of like talking about the conversation we had a little bit earlier. Aaron Rodgers throws 6 touchdown passes in a half. What? The man throws 6 touchdown passes in the first half last night against the Chicago Bears. And, my gosh, he only threw the ball 27 times. I think he completed 18 passes. But 6 out of them 18 passes were for touchdowns. So very efficient. That's an understatement, and a Bust Award goes to the Bears, man. The Bears just absolutely suck. And I said it a little bit earlier. Mark Trestman's probably going to lose his job. Like, I'm shocked they even let him back on the plane last night because that was horrible. I mean, how do you give up 6 touchdown passes in a half? Just bad. So very efficient by your boy Aaron Rodgers. He reminds me of myself, my senior year in high school, and this is a true story, and I just thought about this. In my senior year in high school, I had a game, and this is no lie. I swear God is my witness. And you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. And I'm pretty sure this is the stat line. I had a game in high school. Now keep in mind, this was homecoming. This was the homecoming game for the Berkeley Stags, all right? And we were playing one of them sorry black schools. I think it was North Charleston or Burke, one of the two. I'm not sure, but one of them. We were playing, and for homecoming night, I carried the ball 12 times, and I'm not bragging. I'm just telling you a story. Maybe I am bragging a little bit. I carried the ball 12 times and scored 5 touchdowns. Yes! In one half. I didn't even play the second half against these sorry sapsuckers. Yes. So I carried the ball 12 times, had 5 touchdowns, and like over 100 yards. Didn't even play the second half for homecoming. Can you imagine the cream that your boy got the rest of that week, that year? Come on, man. You show out on homecoming night. All of the old alumni come back, and you show out, you ball out of control like that. The ladies don't know the team we were playing sucked. They don't know, the dudes probably looked in the stands and like, this ain't that bad. He doing it against North Charleston. All they do is play basketball. They don't even have, people to fill out their roster. The dudes may have known that, but the ladies sure didn't. Yes. So very efficient night by Aaron Rodgers, man, and the Bears should be ashamed of themselves. I mean, they should be ashamed of themselves, man. From Patreon says the Buster Award should be renamed the Jay Cutler Award, and I agree. Horrible. And this guy, man, you talking about a guy that's made it just a reputation alone, a dude with a big arm, and that's pretty much it. A big arm, but really hasn't accomplished a lot in the NFL. Really hadn't accomplished a lot in the NFL, man. And a lot of people talk about his demeanor and the fact that he doesn't carry himself like a leader. And, I give him credit because I think he's a good quarterback or he's been a decent quarterback at times in the NFL. But for the most part, Jay Cutler's a buster, man. I think people are tired of him. He's got one of those big deals as well, so the Bears are going to have to contend with the guy. But just horrible. And I don't know whether to give this guy a Baller Award, or I don't know whether to give this guy a Buster Award. And maybe this might be the first guy that's getting something in between. Because, injuries do happen, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. Should we give Carson Palmer a Baller Award or a Buster Award? And I guess technically it's not ethically correct to give a guy a Buster Award for getting hurt. But here's the backstory on that. He tears his ACL probably, and I haven't heard confirmation on that, but from all indications, Carson Palmer tore his ACL yesterday against the Rams. You talk about buzzard luck or possum luck. Can't kill nothing. Nothing won't die. Carson Palmer signs a new deal, I think they say 10 days ago, and tears his ACL. He did the exact same thing when he played with the Cincinnati Bengals a couple of years back. Signed a new deal and then got his ACL torn in a playoff game. Yes! So, you talk about bad luck, but is it good luck? Okay? The guy tore his ACL, but he's straight as far as money. And then when you get injured and you got a contract, it's not like the other circumstances where they can cut you if you're not producing and you just keep the bonus money. No. He's going to get paid all his money because he's injured while he was under contract. So Carson Palmer is lucky, but then he's not lucky. He's a baller? Or maybe he's a buster. I don't know. But just bad timing for the Arizona Cardinals, man. And they were doing fantastic. 8-1 on the year. Ball award goes to the head coach, Bruce Arians, for the red Kango that he sports doing his press conferences. So a lot of positive things going on with the Arizona Cardinals. But damn, wow, Carson Palmer. I mean, is he lucky as the Irish? Or does he have possum luck? I mean, you choose. And I know if you're Now, Arizona Cardinal fan, you're saying, here we go again. Here we go again. Another team that seems like they can't get to the mountaintop. But they seem to be on the right track right now. I will give them that. They definitely seem like they're on the right track. All right, 404-382-0338. Once again, 404-382-0338. Do you think that your company would benefit with partnering with the Doug Stewart Show? Huh? I'm telling you, you should. If your clientele consists of dudes, for the most part, because we do have women that listen to the show as well, a lot of women as well that love sports, but dudes between like 35 and 55 that like sports, you know, do you think this would be a good match? Mostly in the metro Atlanta area? Hit me up. Email me at doug@thedougsstewartshow.com and let's do some business. We are doing huge things around here. Yes. Am I lying? You know good well I'm not lying. We are doing huge things around here, man. This is our 8th week on air. Well over 30,000 listens. So we're doing big things, man. We're doing huge things, working with companies already. Got a couple of sponsors that we've been working with from the very beginning, but a couple of new ones over the last couple of weeks. God, come on, man. Break bread with your boy. Break bread with your boy, man. I mean, the Stews brand is it's like that. I mean, don't let nobody fool you. Our brand is like that. All right, the Doug Stewart Show's brand is like that. So holla at your boy and let's do some business. All right, 404-382-0338. When we get back from the break, read more of your chat. Try to find a couple more Ballas and Bustas, and we'll just keep it moving, all right? Sports Talk with Hot Sauce, Texas Pete Hot Sauce. It's the Doug Stewart Show. Business owners, Advertising Unlimited is one of the few national flyer and door hanger distribution companies that service every market in the U.S., promoting your grand opening or special event, as well as creating brand recognition amongst the public. Here's what they do. They deliver your printed ad or promotion to the front door of your targeted customer. The beauty is they outperform direct mail advertising, and your ad doesn't get lost in the mailbox. Now, isn't that what really matters? Boom! The most professional, reliable distribution teams in the business, and they also provide real-time proof of performance for all campaigns. An A rating with the Better Business Bureau, and were voted one of the fastest-growing companies in the U.S. by Inc. magazine. Advertising Unlimited has the capability to print and distribute up to 20,000 flyers or more for less than the price of a stamp. Use the promo code DSS and get an extra 10% discount on your initial campaign. So, give them a call at 1-866-369-9003. Again, that's 1-866-369-9003, or check out their website at goadvertiseunlimited.com and make your advertising dollars count. Yes!
You've been thinking about starting that online store, right? And you do know e-commerce makes billions a year. That's right, billions with a B. Well, just do it and do it right with my friends at AmeriCommerce. AmeriCommerce is an easy-to-use tool to sell anything online, on Facebook, and through mobile phones. Over 100,000 merchants and website owners have chosen AmeriCommerce to handle their stores and customers. They have the most in-depth features in the industry, which include multiple storefronts, website management from one console, a Facebook shopping application, a mobile-optimized website, and much, much more. Don't let eBay, Amazon, and Zappos get all the money. Get your piece of the pie, too. Click on their link on thedougsstewartshow.com or the app link for details. The Doug Stewart Show is off and running, but just like every company, we need sponsors. Would yours like to work with one of the livest, most dynamic, and recognized sports talk show personalities in America? By the way, that's me. Getting in on the ground floor? Well, call us at 770-847-0536 or email me at doug@thedougsstewartshow.com and let's do business. From the smallest company in Atlanta to the biggest brands nationally and worldwide, shawty. People know me and the Stews brand in these streets. Holla at your folk. Once again, the number is 770-847-0536 or email me at doug@thedougsstewartshow.com. Yes!
His realness on radio has been banned across America, except for Dodge City, Kansas. The Doug Stewart Show.
Welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show. And if you not stewing, what in the hell are you doing? Thank you for joining your folk. I really do appreciate it. And this is a Man Talk Monday. Yes, you can email me at doug@thedugstewartshow.com. The number is 404-382-0338 if you want to call in with your baller, your buster, your game ball, or your goat. This segment is brought to you by our good friends at Advertise Unlimited. That's right. Check them out at goadvertiseunlimited.com. One of the biggest and the best companies in this country to do door-to-door marketing. That's right. They put the flyer, a little door hanger flyer on your door, and it promotes your company or your business, okay? So check them out. Go to my website, thedugstewartshow.com. Click on their banner link, or give them a call at 866-369-9003. So Cass is tripping on me on the chat line. Say, Doug, you sound like Al Bundy with your high school football stories. Damn right! That's all I got. That's all I got, shawty. Yes, true story. If you're just joining me, I scored 5 touchdowns on Thanksgiving, or not Thanksgiving, I'm a little couple weeks ahead, on homecoming night, 1987-88 season against, I'm pretty sure it was Burke High School, maybe North Charleston, one of them black schools. And so ran roughshod all through them, and it was a good week for your boy. Your boy got paid all week long. Yes. But listen, man. I mean, hey, at one point, and this is a true story as well. You're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. At one point, I thought that the writers of, what was it, Married with Family, with the Al Bundy guy and Peg, I thought that they were, somebody had stole my life story. It was because my first job out of college, I worked at a shoe store. I was a manager at Foot Action USA for like a year and a half, 2 years. That's what actually took me to Pensacola, Florida. Shouts out to University Mall. So I worked in the shoe store. I sold shoes. And I scored 5 touchdowns on homecoming night. When they came out with that little storyline, when Al talked about that on that show, I was like, wait a minute. I mean, who the hell is the writers of this show? They're talking about your boy. So, yeah, whatever, man. That's all I got. You know, I don't got a lot. And my daughters get mad at me when I start telling stories. But damn it, just sit down and listen. It'll make your old man feel better. It'll make your old man feel better. Come on, man. Yeah. Shouts out to my high school as well, man. The Berkeley High School Stags started out real rough this year. But they've gone on to win the region. And they just beat a team this past weekend. I think it was Dreer High School. Out of Columbia, I believe they are. So shouts out to them Berkeley Stags. Yes. Always got great talent. In Monk's Corner, South Carolina, man. So shouts out to them Stags for handling their business. I don't know what they're going to do next week. I hope they can go ahead and keep this thing going. Once again, people from my hometown know the team has kind of been in a lot of controversy over the last couple of years. You're listening to the Doug Stewart Show with the coach. They allegedly tried to fire the coach, and he somehow managed to keep his job. A lot of people question play calling. But anyway, so they've turned things around, man, and won a playoff game this past weekend. So shouts out to my hometown, Berkeley Stags. Shouts out Baller Award goes to Texas A&M, to the Aggies. They beat Auburn in an upset, 41-38. You remember now, Texas A&M have been struggling over the last couple of weeks. Busta Award on the flip side goes to Auburn, man. 2 fumbles at the end of the game. And you talk about destiny. It just wasn't in the cards for Auburn to play in the national championship or play in this playoff. It just wasn't in the plans. If you watch the way Auburn turned the football over at the end of this game, man, it was just unbelievable. On the little spread option play, Nick Marshall tries to hand off and decides at the last very second to try to pull it out and keep it. Fumble on the 1-yard line. They were about to go up in that game and probably win. And then they stop them. They get the ball back. And Nick Marshall's calling an audible at the damn line of scrimmage in a shotgun position. And the center snaps the ball and nobody's there. They lose the ball again. So just, you got to give credit where credit's due for Texas A&M. They get a big win, a win that nobody in the world thought that they were going to make happen. So they get it done, and Auburn, man, boy, you got to feel sick if you're Nick Marshall, because you don't want to blame one person for a loss. But if you had to, this is something we used to say back on the show, if you had to blame one person for the loss, you probably could blame Nick Marshall. Now, he kept them in the game, and he's been pretty much their MVP over this year. But, man, 2 crucial mistakes, mostly by the quarterback in this game this past weekend. So they go down, loses a little bit of luster now. Not a lot. It kind of loses a little bit of its luster for Alabama for the Iron Bowl coming up in a couple of weeks. You're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, but not that much. As Alabama, speaking of which, they get a big win in Death Valley over LSU in overtime. Maybe the toughest place to play in college football. I don't care what the records are. I don't care if it is a down year for LSU. It's Death Valley. At Death Valley at night. You're talking about one of the toughest places to play in sports, period. And I think this Blake Sims kid, man, he needs to start to get a little bit more credit. Dude is solid. They're winning ball games with him, and it seems like that the Bama fans are kind of down on him and don't think that he's that great of a quarterback. They're handling their business. They're in a position to play for a national championship as it stands right now. Dude has a 90.6 total quarterback rating, second best in FBS. So he's doing something right. And I don't know, man. Good win for Alabama on the road against LSU. A win is a win when you beating LSU on the road in Death Valley. So ball award goes to Alabama, and they're doing what they have to. And once again, just like Auburn, control their own destiny. Same situation with Alabama. They control their own destiny. If they get this win against Auburn in the Iron Bowl, it's good as done. They're going to play in the playoff. So ball award goes to Nick Saban and the Alabama Crimson Tide. The number is 404-382-0338. Once again, 404-382-0338. Let's see. Buster Ward. I was trying to think of who I wanted, and I couldn't remember exactly who it was. Buster Ward goes to the Mississippi schools. Yes, they get an all across the board Buster Award. Mississippi, man. Mississippi beats up on PC. You know what PC is? Presbyterian College. One of the teams I played against back in the day, the Blue Holes, 48-0. And Mississippi State beats up on UT Martin 45-16. How dare y'all? And I mentioned this past Friday. How dare y'all schedule these 2 cupcakes at the end of the year and you're trying to make a run for a national championship? Come on. I mean, who does that? Like, how does that happen? And especially with the playoffs this year, and you want to put your best foot forward, and you're playing UT Martin and Presbyterian? Come on. So y'all get a Buster Award for that as well. The number is 404-382-0338. And one last ball award on top of my mind. Ball award goes to Baylor, 48-14 win over Oklahoma. And wow, don't forget now, they already beat TCU. And so I think that Baylor is not getting enough love right now as far as their rankings. And once again, I believe these things will play themselves out and they'll take care of themselves. Baylor, man, and I always talk about programs and teams that are historically bad. And you can look from at one point in time where the team turned around. I mentioned it a while back. I remember when Reggie White signed with the Green Bay Packers, and the Packers were horrible. Okay, if you're a greenhorn, if you're young, you don't understand. The Packers used to be horrible. I mean, routinely horrible year in and year out in NFL. Then Reggie White signs with them, and more free agents said, okay, it's cool for Reggie White to go play for the Packers. I'll go to Green Bay. And so they signed players, and Brett Favre is there at the same time, and they win a Super Bowl. So that was kind of like the benchmark of when the Green Bay Packers' fortunes turned around. Same thing you could say for RG3. Yes, RG3 comes on the scene, new offensive system. They put up a ton of points week in and week out. RG3 wins the Heisman, and now it seems like Baylor's on a roll. Baylor used to be in the same conversation. And you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. Baylor used to be in the same conversation with Vanderbilt, Duke, Rutgers, just synonymous with being bad. Yes. So Baylor's turning things around and playing fantastic football. I mean, just fantastic football. And they're going to be in the mix, too. They're going to be in the mix. Maybe not ranked low enough to get into the mix for the Final Four, but a couple of key losses this past weekend by some of the teams that were ahead of them. in particular Michigan State, Auburn as well. So Baylor's going to have a chance to jump up, man, and they're one of those one-loss teams who's got a great quality win based on the rankings right now when beating TCU that can make some noise. It can score a lot of points, on everybody. They scored 48 this weekend against Oklahoma and Bob Stoops' team, one of the powers in college football traditionally over the years. So Baller Award goes to the Baylor Bears. Wow. And they owe a lot. They owe a lot. You talk about a guy that'll never have to pay for a steak dinner in, what's that city name? Waco, Texas? Yeah, RG3. Yeah, the guy could probably be mayor of that town. He's probably going to have to cut them nasty-ass little nappy dread things out of his hair to run for office. But, yeah, you get the point I'm trying to make. RG3 has really been his career at Baylor for the Bears has been the benchmark for really them turning it around. I mean, really, you got to give a lot of credit for that. All right, the number to the show is 404-382-0338. That is the number to the show, and this is the Doug Stewart Show. Yes. Make sure when the show's done today, don't log out right now. Keep listening. Something else crazy might happen in the next segment. When the show's done today, at some point the night before you lay your head on the pillow, tell one person about the Doug Stewart Show. The livest, the most interactive, the most fun sports talk show in America. Yes, we are doing big things around here, so pass the word about the Doug Stewart Show. All right, up next on the Doug Stewart Show, we'll wrap today's show up. Maybe there are a couple more Ballas and Bustas out there. I'll read some of this chat. Cats going crazy on the chat line on Spreaker.com. And maybe I'll read some of the Twitter messages as well. All right, so don't go anywhere. Sports talk with hot sauce. Texas Pete hot sauce. It's the Doug Stewart Show.
I'm always saying get with the times. Stop acting like you at your mama house. Calling that girl you met at summer camp 2 states away, and your mama screaming out,
I know you better not be talking long distance running up my bill with that little hussy girl.
Well, get with the times with the long distance charges. Presenting Univon. Univon offers unlimited worldwide calling to 60 plus countries for $14.99 a month. No contract, no activation fee, and no cancellation fee. Users can call anytime using their mobile phone or home IP phone. So stop flushing money down the drain. Get more details by clicking Univon's link banner on the DougStewartShow.com or the link on the DougStewartShow.com app. Try out Univon and call your peoples like you not at your mama house. All right, I know the deal. You've been thinking about starting that online store, right? And you do know e-commerce makes billions a year. That's right, billions with a B. Well, just do it. And do it right with my friends at AmeriCommerce. AmeriCommerce is an easy-to-use tool to sell anything online, on Facebook, and through mobile phones. Over 100,000 merchants and website owners have chosen AmeriCommerce to handle their stores and customers. They have the most in-depth features in the industry, which include multiple storefronts, website management from one source, a Facebook shopping application, a mobile-optimized website, and much more. Don't let eBay, Amazon, and Zappos get all the money. Get your piece of the pie, too. Click on the link on the DougStewartShow.com or the app link for details. The Doug Stewart Show is off and running. But just like every company, we need sponsors. Would yours like to work with one of the livest, most dynamic, and recognized sports talk show personalities in America? By the way, that's me. Getting in on the ground floor? Well, call us at 770-847-0536 or email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com and let's do business. From the smallest company in Atlanta to the biggest brands nationally and worldwide, shawty. People know me and the Stews brand in these streets. Holla at your boat. Once again, the number is 770-847-0536 or email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com. Yes!
Welcome back to the Doug Stewart Show. Yes, this is a Man Talk Monday. Mad Dog Monday. Balls and Busters. Very eventful weekend, man. A lot of movement in college football and then the NFL. and things are getting more and more clear each and every single week. Some guys stayed the course, and some teams and some guys fell off. Yeah, Michigan State falls off. I can't wait to see what the rankings are tomorrow night. Auburn goes down. Teams that really control their own destiny. And what do you know? Oregon's just sitting there, just beating up on all of these teams out in the West Coast in that WAC conference or Pac-12 or whatever conferences they play in. And they're just sitting right there, man. They're probably going to roll into this Final Four playoff pairings. But we'll see what happens, I think. And I contend that they play against a team from the SEC and get hit in the mouth, they'll fold. Okay? They'll fold like a bad hand in poker. All right? The number is 404-382-0338, 404-382-0338. Or is it Auburn's, or not Auburn's, is it Oregon's time? You know, at some point, it's everybody's time. And Oregon made it to the national championship a couple of years ago. They got probably what a lot of people will argue is the best quarterback in their history, even though they've had some very good ones, some very decent ones. Dennis Dixon a couple of years ago. I guess you could even go back to Achilles Smith, name of a guy I couldn't remember a while back that was up for the Heisman Trophy. So they've had some good players. They've had some very good players. Didn't Warren Moon play for them? Did Warren Moon play for Oregon or Washington? I always get that confused. I think he played for Oregon. So they've had some great players there at Oregon. Is it their time? Even though they had the disappointing loss, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, at home against Arizona, who I thought really should have dropped them even lower, but Arizona's been having a pretty decent year as well. Even though that loss, they still found themselves in contention to play for this national championship, one of the four final teams in college football. I'm getting confirmation from my producer outside the glass that Warren Moon played for Washington and not Oregon, so I always get that confused. But yeah, so they've had some great players, but Marcus Mariota is probably going to win the Heisman Trophy, and we'll see. We'll see. Maybe this is Oregon's year. Maybe I'm totally wrong. Maybe it's going to be one of those predictions where I totally muff, like my prediction at the start of the year over, I picked Dallas to win no more than 5 games. I got that wrong. So maybe I'm totally wrong about Oregon. I don't believe so, though. I just don't think they play a physical enough brand of football out in that conference and with that team and the system that they run to beat a team from the SEC. If you watch Mississippi State got some grown-ass men on their offensive defensive lines. If Oregon plays against Mississippi State, that crap and all of those cross bucks and all of that, disguise stuff and spread offense type plays, it won't work. If your lineman, okay, if your center is getting pushed 5-6 yards back in the backfield, all of that other crap doesn't work. It doesn't. Yes. And if your defensive lineman can't be blocked and they're constantly on the back of the quarterback, you can throw all of that other stuff and all of these points you're scoring out the window. I'm telling you, and we've seen it time and time again, okay, where one of these teams that run these finesse-style offenses play against a physical team, and there's nothing you can do. Do you remember when, I don't remember exactly which one it was or what year, I always tell you, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, I always tell you I'm not good with years, but you remember the national championship game, I believe Troy Smith was the quarterback, with Ohio State and Florida? Yeah, Ohio State had been killing teams, putting up all of these points. But if you can't block defensive linemen, if you can't stop a defensive lineman, a defensive end from, riding your quarterback's ass for 4 quarters, and vice versa, if your offensive line or your defensive line can't get to the quarterback, of the opposing team, you're probably going to lose. That's what that whole mantra of winning games in the trenches comes from. That's where it comes from. And I just think, look at Mississippi State. All right? Look at Mississippi State. If you see Mississippi State play this year and the personnel they got on that team offensively and defensively on both their lines, just physical. And just grown-ass men that were raised up eating cornbread and collard greens, and fatback. Yes. And you playing against a team like Oregon, I don't think Oregon can beat Mississippi State. and bookmark this show because I don't know if it's going to happen. And it's almost like cannibalism in the SEC, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. But the thing that's kind of interesting about the cannibalism going on in the SEC and these teams beating each other, Texas A&M loses this or wins this past weekend against Auburn, is these wins are like close. And there's something flukish that happens at the end. And, so it's not a big-time win by whoever teams that wins. It's not a big-time loss by whatever team that loses in the SEC. So there's a lot of talk out there, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, about will the SEC have two teams in this playoff? When they lose, when a team that's at the top of these polls loses, they don't drop a lot. So I'm very interested to see what happens tomorrow night in this poll with Auburn. Because Auburn won this game. Or they didn't win, but they should have won. You know what I'm saying? They should have won. I think they're probably still the better team. I clearly think they're the better team. So how many spots will they drop tomorrow night? Okay? How many spots will they drop tomorrow night on this new playoff committee's new rankings that come out tomorrow night? We'll see. Very interesting. I think that there's still a good chance that there may be two teams in this playoff. I think there may still be a good chance a team might eke in there, like Alabama or Auburn, even with one loss, maybe even two losses, and get that fourth spot. So we'll see what happens with that. But, yeah, right now, Mississippi State and Oregon line up. I think Oregon wears an ass cutting. I do. I think they wear an ass cut by Mississippi State. Yes. Yes. Well, by a lot of the teams in the SEC, I think they lose to Alabama. I think they lose to Auburn, even though Auburn lost the other night. But I think Oregon lines up. Oregon lines up against Mississippi State. They lose by 3 touchdowns. Yes. Maybe not 3 touchdowns. Maybe not 3 touchdowns because they score a lot of points. But I think even their scoring in a game like that against Mississippi State will be greatly reduced based on the norm or the average of what they've had this year. Yes, because of some of the reasons I just talked about a couple of seconds ago. Offensively, you're not going to be able to block their guys. Yeah, everything's funny. It's almost like that thing that Mike Tyson said 25, 30 years ago. Everybody's got a plan until they get hit in the mouth, okay? And I think that would be the case for Oregon. All of this cute stuff that they run is real cute when you just got free, free reign to just do what you want, and you got time back there, and your quarterback is very clean and doesn't get dirty at all the whole night. But when you don't have time to develop or even let your play develop, when you got a 320-pound ugly pushing your center back in the backfield all night long, all of that crap goes out the window. Absolutely all of it goes out the window. And I think that would be the case if Mississippi State took on Oregon, or maybe even a couple of these teams in the SEC took on this Oregon team. I don't buy into them. I don't buy into that style of football. You know me, I'm old school. I believe that we should be running the ball with the eye. I believe that play action and the eye formation is just unbeatable. And all of this finesse stuff these teams run this day and time, I get it. It's kind of like the equalizer. If you don't have superb talent, if the X factor is talent, then you have to do something to offset that, and that's play calling. I get that. I understand the infatuation with the spread offenses these days and times, but I'm old school, man. Run the ball. And my high school coach, God bless the dead, the great Gerald Moody, if he found out he could run the ball on you, he was going to keep running it. And this is no lie. You're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. Back in 1986, 87, we were one of the best teams in the state of South Carolina, the Berkeley Stags, who I mentioned a little bit earlier. And we were playing Somerville, and we had the number one running back in the country, Mike Dingle. Shouts out to Mike Dingle, 6'3", 225 pounds, when all of the running backs back then were that size. You know, the running backs today are different. The running backs today are more suited to catch the ball out of the backfield, run spread type plays. So back then, all of the backs were huge. The backs were like linebackers are now, okay? So we found something, and we ran like a 46 isolation or whatever, off-tackle play, and Moody ran that play like 10 times in a row. Yes! Damn it! Until you stop it, give it to him again. That was my Gerald Moody voice. Give it to him again. Coach, what do you want to run? Run the 46 isolation again. Off tackle. Run it again. Run it again. Run it again. And that was his mentality. So that's the background that I grew up for in football, man. Run it again until they stop it. Why would you put the ball in the air? Why would you put the ball in the air if you can run it? So many things can go wrong when you pass the ball. Your quarterback can make a bad throw. Your receiver can drop it. The defensive back can make a great play. The defensive lineman can sack your quarterback. I mean, just so many things can go wrong when you put the ball in the air. Just run it down their stinking throat. Yes, yes, yes. Are you not entertained? Huh? Are you not entertained? That's right. That's right. This is the Doug Stewart Show. Thank you for joining your boy. Did I just have a rant about old school fundamentals in college football or in football in particular? I think I did. Yeah. Thank you so much for joining your boy, man. Thank you to everybody that helped make this show possible. Shouts out to the Tree of Life, Tree Taylor, for doing what you do. Thank you so much, Tree. Shouts out to Waterhead Walter. Yes, my assistant producer, and CJ the DJ, my other assistant producer. Thank you very much. I really do appreciate it. And shouts out to Dwayne Bassan as well as Gerald Oliveri. Man, you guys are fantastic. Thank you for everything that you do and making me look sharp and on point. Yes. Once again, if you're a company out there that like to partner with the Doug Stewart Show, we love to partner with you. Email me at doug@thedougstewartshow.com and let's do some business, all right? Yeah. All right, so we'll do it again tomorrow on a Top 5 Tuesday, one of my favorite days of the week, and we'll have some fun with that. So once again, tomorrow morning, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., the Doug Stewart Show. Same Doug time, same Doug channel. Peace.